Hello, welcome to the United Man. Yes, it's been a while. We're going to be going through the Manchester United versus Leeds preview today. Before we get into it, let's go through this.
Open up the mic, making sure production's tight.
Thank you very much for joining me again. Yes, it's been a while. Glad to be back. Wanted to go through the Manchester United against Leeds game. Now, it's been a while since it's last taken place in the Premier League. Our form has been somewhat suspect at home. Away from home, it's been very good. Our last home game being a draw against Man City. Now, obviously, our last game was against Sheffield United away. Managed to steal another win on the road. Hopefully, we can start our home form off making an impact, because at the minute our home form is actually relegation form. So we really need to step that up and obviously get the same form that we've got away from home. Now, speaking of form, I did want to have a quick look at the form table. So let's get rid of that. I think at the minute we're probably on course for being the form side. I think there's only Liverpool who's sort of on par in terms of form, but we still got one win better than them. So at the minute we're the form side in the league. Obviously that's a bit, I suppose, it's a little bit confusing because obviously our European form has been so poor as of late. But in the league, as I say, we're on course to be champions. I say that tongue in cheek because obviously, as we know, at the minute there are games taking place, but our home form has been a bit shocking as of late. Now, recipe to win against Leeds, they're going to have a lot of the ball. They're going to be a Marcelo Bielsa typical side. They're good in possession, dangerous on the counter. We just need to make sure, because there are no fans in the ground for us, backing us, we do need to make sure that we're not overawed by Leeds early on. Obviously, we've got a very bad knack of conceding early goals. So, how do we combat that? Now, our attack is obviously quite formidable, and that's what's really got us through games. Obviously, we scored three in the last game, but our defence is and has been very poor, to for want of a better word. So I'm just hoping that we can keep it at least to a well, I'll say a clean sheet for the game, but at least till half time, because we finished strong. We played better in the second half. That's been the staple for the whole season so far. So I'm just hoping that we can at least keep it a clean sheet until half time. Right, who's in the comments? Rush, what's going on, man? Hey, mate, glory, Man United. Yes, indeed. Ezra Leonce is in the comments. That's my little brother for you. No, you didn't know. The return of the United Man. Yes, indeed. Tough game, high intensity. Very good point there. In terms of the history behind the game. Obviously, there's not been a league game. I've got it written down here since 2004. The two games that we played against them since then, we lost against them in the FA Cup in 2009-2010 season, and we beat them 3-0 in the League Cup in the 2011-2012 season. We've not played against them in the league since 2004. Obviously, they've been missing from the league for 15, 16 years now, so there's no surprise there. Let's have a look and see. So I think I was just trying to see where they were in the form table. Let's get rid of that. Right, so at the minute, Leeds are on the downward take in terms of the form, in 13th position at the minute in terms of form, that is. I'm just hoping, as I said before, that the people that, because I know they've got one or two injuries. Patrick Bamford has been their main goal scoring threat. Is he going to be that again? I'm not too sure. And just whilst we've got that up as well, let's have a look at the league table. This was before today's games took place. Obviously, it was in sixth position. Problem is, we've still got that game in hand niggling around because we've got a game in hand on the team below us, game in hand on the teams above us as well. And obviously, after some of the games have been played today, we'll have two games in hand. So that's obviously Tottenham, Southampton, Leicester, and Everton who are above us. However, you'll expect as the season wears on that both Man City realistically will move up the table, Chelsea will move up the table, and you'd expect Southampton to drop out of that top six, but obviously they're on good form. And when Leicester went on to win the league title, was all expecting them to drop off, but they never did and end up winning it. I'm not saying Southampton is going to win it, however, just saying you never know. Okay, so I'm hoping that we can actually start as we do when we go a goal down or 2 goals down, not leave it till the last 15 minutes of the game, in which we're the form side in the Premier League. We have scored the most goals in that last 15 minutes. So I'm just hoping that we can actually start with that intensity. So I don't know what happens at the beginning of the games. I really don't. I've never seen it. Man United have set a record from their win against Sheffield United, where we've got the most wins in a row away from home, where we've gone behind. So, I mean, it's a good record in terms of the fight back spirit, which is obviously what we're used to seeing under Sir Alex. But in terms of, I mean, we're still sixth in the league, like I said, with the game in hand. But the league's that tight at the moment that let's just say I'm not the most confident in the world in terms of us picking up our position and maintaining it. Yes, we can get some wins on the table, but can we maintain it over a prolonged period of time? That's going to be the making. And I'm just hoping that we can. My prediction I've got down, I was going to go through it a bit later, but my prediction for the game against Leeds, and it's a funny one really, is because I'm just hoping that we're making a good account of ourselves, but my prediction is actually 2-2. Now, what are you thinking your predictions? What are your predictions for the game as well? Because mine is based on, as I said, it's a funny one. Leeds will come out, as they always do, intense, aggressive, but defensively, they're not the greatest either. Like ourselves, we're conceding a lot of goals. Leeds have been conceding quite a fair few goals as of late as well. Now, that's why I've gone for a 2-2 draw, pretty much because we sharp shop against City, but City they're in a bit of a precarious situation as well at the moment. They're not the all guns blazing City that we used to, or has been, I should say. So they're in a bit of a strange position themselves, which is why I think that the way they set up the way they did under Guardiola. Whereas we used to City coming and sort of dominating position, and us just basically trying to hit them on the counter, which has been successful over the past few seasons. I know Liverpool's playing now. What was that? 7-0. I've seen Liverpool there. If that is the case, then that's a bit of a mad one. But anyway, I'm mindful in terms of we've got Tottenham, Southampton, Leicester, and Everton above us, Chelsea behind us, and West Ham, and City, and Wolves, and even maybe Aston Villa. In the case of 2 games, if we lose 2 games and all those teams win, they could move, above us and further away from us. So the teams are above, obviously Liverpool, Tottenham, Southampton, Leicester, and Everton. If things don't go according to plan in terms of results, that's how tight the league table is now. People could move away from us very, very quickly. Likewise, the teams below us, like I say again, Chelsea on 22 points as things stand. Again, we've got that game in hand on them. West Ham on 21 points. City and Wolves on 20 points. So, and realistically, the goal difference are all very similar as well. I think I'm seeing this right. So, Liverpool's bagged a hatful by the looks of it. So their goal difference has gone up to 36. Our goal difference is pretty much in the ballpark of everyone else's. between Man City on plus 18, ourselves on plus 22, and Tottenham on plus 25. Goal difference, there's nothing in it basically. So we've basically just got to take our chances. I'm going to ask a very, 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 very strange question now. Before I'll go back to the chat, series in the chats. Right, so Rush, we need to. Is that Matt Rush? Is it? We need to deal with the high balls better. Teams are targeting both centre backs and waiting for the mistake. Very, very good point there, Matt. I think realistically, the high balls, we've only got realistically Harry Maguire that can deal with anything aerially. For those of you that watched me before, you'll know that I'm not Lindelof's fan at all. Don't believe he should be anywhere in the side. I believe you've got Eric Bailly, you've got Twin Zabi, Tedem Mengi. All of them guys should be getting an opportunity way before Lindelof, or just getting an opportunity to displace him, because he doesn't shine in any one specific area as a centre back, if you ask me. And a lot of the goals previously can be associated really and truly directly to Lindelof. Not saying it's all his fault, obviously, but yeah, that's my opinion. Great to see you back. Come on, United, Matt Rush, mate. Much appreciated, Matt, for that super chat, man. It has been a while. I appreciate Matt giving us the support as well. Matt was one of the guys that was asking questions, Shane, what's going on? Why have you not been doing anything for a while? So, Matt, much appreciated for the support, my friend. But we shall continue on, and you'll be seeing a lot more on the United, man. So, in terms of the question I was referring to as well, go back to that as well though. We need to transfer away form to the home fixtures starting tomorrow, and that's it. That's a very, very good point there. If we can do so, makes a world of difference. We have, and it's that's why I say it's so confusing. We have title winning away form and relegation home form. That in itself is, just ultimately confuses the matter even more so. Matt's gone with 2-1 prediction to United. Yeah, it was 7-0 to Liverpool. What? Okay. Riley's in the house as well. What's going on, Riley? Long time no see. Right, here comes the question, and just bear with me as well, because you're going to see why I'm putting this as well. But as I've said, the league is very, very up and down at the moment, and there's talk of the title being won by us. Now, go back to league table. If results go in our favour, or even if it doesn't, if we win both our games in terms of the game in hand as well, we'll go into second place. So, there you have it. There you have it. Is it insurmountable to say that Manchester United can win the league? I believe we're a long way off, but I've seen the question asked quite a lot recently. I think we're nowhere near consistent enough to be talking about a title challenge now. Stranger things have happened, yes, but normally it is the best team that wins the league over a sustained period of time. You can have an anomaly when it comes to winning a tournament, i.e. FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Europa League, but normally it is the best team that wins the league over 38 games. So, can we do it? I'd be very, very surprised. This season, no. Next season, for me, we need to be showing the form that we were showing towards the end of last season. I think it was the last 8 or 9 games. I think it was, the last 8 or 9 games was playing like we're ready to win the league the following season, which is here now. But we've just not been anywhere near that. So for me, we need to look at a centre back. We're never going to be. We possibly need to look at 2, but realistically, I don't think the board are going to look at purchasing another 2 centre backs. Not when we spent 85 million on Harry Maguire, that's for sure. So realistically one centre back, or give the lads the opportunity. Eric Bailly obviously is injury prone, we know that, but Tuanzebe and Teden Mengi, we need to give them an opportunity, because one of them certainly got to be better than Lindelof, I feel. If you give them consistency in terms of, we're talking like 6 or 7 games in a row to build a partnership with Harry Maguire, then you never know what's going to develop. So for me, we need to at least give them the opportunity to sit next to Harry Maguire, because at this moment in time, as I said, we have a really, really dangerous attack, rubbish defense, basically. You look at our attack: Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. Obviously, you've got Cavani in the mix now. Realistically, that's goals galore, and it has been. But it's the case of now, we have to look at we have to look at the fact that we're trying to not concede loads of goals. That's why I was happy to see what I saw against Man City. But big but, the proof is in the pudding, and history has said and suggests that we're going to concede goals. Likewise, we're gonna score a few. But Liverpool 7-0, I cannot believe that, man. That's no good. We've got another signing coming in Ahmed Diallo in January, so that's another attacking flair player, which you would suggest that we don't necessarily need. But as Fergie says, you can never have too many attackers, so you can never have too many goal scorers. But we desperately, we've got Alex Telles, who's kind of like filled a void at left back, I feel, in terms of real creativity from the left back spot. You'll always see that he's trying to get into the box or get the ball into the box early doors. So for me, the left back spot, we're okay, because we've got Luke Shaw there and Alex Telles, and obviously Brandon Williams as well as cover, I suppose, at the moment. But right back, I don't know if that's a problem, because Wan-Bissaka is so good defensively. Going forward, obviously, he doesn't offer very much at all. But the centre-back pairing, along with the goalkeeper situation, which seems to be very much a bone of contention at the moment, we do need to solve that. And yeah, I don't know where we're going to go in terms of goalkeeper. I think you've got to give Henderson a proper run. But centre-backs, I don't think Harry Maguire has very much confidence in his own ability, let alone Lindelof at the moment. So Teden Mengi, Tuanzebe, give them opportunity. Eric Bailly, even before Lindelof at the moment, I'd say. Yeah. Right, yeah. Let's go back to Matt's comment there. Bamford is their only outlet. I completely agree with that. If they had a decent striker, a good striker, they'd be... You see what Aston Villa sort of been doing compared to last season, where they've got a bona fide goal scorer, or someone who knows where the back of the net is. They'll be dangerous. They'll be in European league spots purely because they'll have a bona fide goal scorer. Patrick Bamford is not that, and he's just going to make life, well, you're hoping he's going to make life easy for us, but you never know with our defenders. So we'll see. Watch his space at the moment. I agree, no chance winning the league yet. Get a quality centre back and a right winger, and we have a chance. Interesting there, interesting. And I agree in terms of a centre back, 2 centre backs I'd love, but they're never going to invest in 2 centre backs. A quality centre back, like Matt said, a right winger who can create, because at the minute we've just got goal scorers up top, which is good, but Greenwood wants to score goals. Isn't ever really looking to create. He'll do his interchange passing in and around with Martial and Rashford, but both of those guys are looking to score as well as Greenwood. So we do need a right winger, like Matt said, to create. I feel like if we do manage to, because look what's happened to Sancho. I was watching something the other day where it was showing about Sancho and his stats and performances ever since the Man United deal fell through. Very, very, very interesting, because he struggled. Now, he was on the verge of joining Manchester United. Personal terms agreed, all that good stuff. I still believe it's a case of if and not will it happen. But it's just the cost of the transfer Manchester United just weren't willing to pay. I do have a lot of respect for that in that regard, but it's just hard to see a good player not come to your club, obviously. So we'll have to see. Um, let's see. We need competition for Wan-Bissaka, Ethan Laird, or Trippier. Ethan Laird even needs an opportunity, like Matt said there. I agree. Ethan Laird is very good prospect, very good going forward. Ethan Laird is decent defensively as well. Trippier, for me, if you're going to get Trippier, he's one of those that will have to look at starting realistically. And I don't know. Do I want Wan-Bissaka at the side? He's my favourite defender at the club. But going forward, he offers so little, which is obviously a bit of a hindrance, especially when we don't have a creator on the right wing as well. So for me, yeah, that's not a bad shout. And Joel, what's going on, Joel? Ball retention needs to improve to dominate the games, and players we have aren't equipped to play position football. I think that's actually down to. It's a very good point that is, Joel. To be fair, but I actually think that's a lot of that's down to Ollie, because you'll see a lot of times when we're not in possession of the ball, there'll only be one or two maximum pressing to close down the ball, and a lot of that time that's normally Bruno Fernandes. I saw a distinctive change when Cavani played up top. Because he was leading the line, he'd be pressing, and he'd have Bruno Fernandes pressing, and then obviously Martial or Greenwood or Rashford, whoever's playing, they'd react to that as well. So Cavani, I know that's his natural ploy from even from his Napoli days. He loves to close down the defenders. So you got to win the ball back quickly when you're playing possession football. You've got to win the ball back quickly. So for me, yeah, I'd like to see us play better. And I believe Pogba, it's a confidence thing, in terms of he plays better when he plays with Bruno Fernandes, that's for sure. Van der Beek, he's a possession player as well, but we're making these guys look average in possession of the football. When we play our tiki-taka football, we look absolutely amazing. At times, against Sheffield United, when we played the tiki-taka, we looked absolutely immense. And we remember we struggled before we got Bruno Fernandes, how much we struggled to break down defenders. So that's a very good point in terms of possession football. I believe we've got the players to actually do it, but I think that's actually down to Ollie. I don't believe he believes in possession football. And I think that's the downfall for Ollie, because obviously he's kind of playing one way, isn't he, at the moment? And realistically, it's not going to get it done. It doesn't get it done. So I feel like we do need to look at another option as well, in terms of how we play. I've even got down that Leeds obviously always have a lot of possession, so we need to be aware, especially if we're not closing them down. If we're just holding our positions and not closing them down, we'll be like it's 60-40 possession game in Leeds' favour. So yeah, I do think we need to look at that as well, realistically. So yeah. The only way we beat Leeds tomorrow, I believe, is if we're pressing them when they're in possession of the ball and hitting them in the break, because defensively they're proven to be very, very good in this season when they're allowed to be comfortable on the ball, and you're not pushing them, you're not harrying them, you're not pressing them. So we've got to move the ball quickly as well when we're in possession of the ball. I don't believe that we're gonna be in a position come the end of the season to be saying, look, we only need this player or that player to win the league. I still think we're gonna be a way off. The league is that sort of up and down at the moment that it's kind of anyone's game. But if Liverpool start stepping up, or City, or even Chelsea, we have to be careful of Chelsea as well, because they've been up and down, new manager, new squad, all that kind of stuff. So we do have to be wary of them in terms of the purchases they've made, because if all those guys that they bought attacking wise gel together for next season, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a problem for the rest of us as well. So I never thought I would say this, but Cavani offers the team so much more. Clever player and draws defenders to him. Yes, absolutely. He's a very, very clever player. I wouldn't have said that would be a player we should go after, but, fair play to Ollie and his scouting department, because I think he can only benefit because he's such a different type of player to Martial, Rashford and Greenwood. I think they'll benefit massively from having him around the squad and the team. In terms of what happened, in terms of his potential ban, I I'd like to think there was no malice intent, which I believe that to be the case. And it's not just because he's a Man United player now. I genuinely believe there was no malice intent. It's just one of those things. Everything's very, very PC these days, and you say boo to a goose and you get yourself in trouble. So for me, that's what it was. That's all that was about, in all honesty. But I liked his 2 goals. Late on, we obviously won where he's come across the defenders to win a header, and you don't see that very often in the Premier League, let alone in Manchester United side. So Cavani for me is a welcome addition. I don't think we should forget about Odion Ighalo, because he's done very well for us as well when he's coming. Another different type of striker. So for me, we need to keep our options open for now. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we're definitely gonna make a good account of ourselves for tomorrow as well. Why is there so much debate about Ollie playing counter-attacking football? Years ago, that was we were known for. As long as we won, yeah, mate, absolutely good point. I think as long as we can do it effectively, you can see how dangerous we are. I think we've got the counter-attacking down to a T now, in all honesty. I can't see it being an issue going forwards, but I still feel like we need to have a plan B in terms of how we play and in terms of how we break teams down, because when you get the teams that just sit back and wait for us to break them down, and they actually end up trying to counter us because we're not that great defensively, we do need another style of play, i.e. possession football. So for me, we'll just like you say, as long as we are getting the win, brilliant. But I'd like to see us have a plan B and different type of footballs that we can play as well. Benjamin's joined us as well. What's going on, Benjamin? Ighalo ain't up to the levels no more though. I have to agree in terms of starting. I agree he's not up to the. Maybe he can start in the League Cup, that kind of thing. But in terms of starting Premier League games, important cup games, League Cup, obviously that's not one of the ones that I'd specify is important. But Ighalo, in any case, I think because the reason he's not starting that much anymore is because it's still a loan deal, isn't it? So whereas Cavani, we've signed him on a free. Ighalo's a loan. I think that finishes. I'm pretty sure that finishes soon anyway. Maybe January or end of the season, one or two. But the Cavani deal is a free. Ighalo offers something different in terms of pure back to the goal. I don't think we should forget about what he's done in his brief tenure here and the number of games that he played, which hasn't been a lot, but when he has played, he's made a very, very, very good account of himself. So yeah, Ighalo, I agree, he's not up to the maximum levels, but I still believe there's something that he offers as part of the squad, for sure. Yeah, listen, back on it, guys. Much appreciated for you joining me, and I'll be doing the preview after the game, and I'll be on a podcast on Monday with on Flying Pig. So I shall see you after the game against Leeds. Come on, United. Let's go.